Box Face, Chris Robinson here at the Fortune Gym with Jeremy Halfman, Half Amazing Williams. What have been some of your best memories? Like, if you could tell me kind of maybe how you first got into boxing, you know?
I started boxing when I was about 6, 7 years old in Long Beach. I got chased home by a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
My father just happened to see me being run home and decided from that day that I'd never run from anybody again.
Yeah.
And started training me and opened a gym, and 35 years later, here I am.
Now, growing up in Long Beach, is that where you're from, born and raised?
I was born in Iowa, raised in Long Beach.
Wow. Yeah. How did growing up in Long Beach kind of impact you? Just the culture, just that, environment?
Well, like, I lived in the downtown section of Long Beach. I grew up downtown, so my neighbors were like a 7-Eleven and a Pioneer Chicken, so I didn't really have neighbors like that. But what I would have is characters that I watched all the time, the homeless guys, the people at the bus stop. So it was like, I grew up right downtown, so it's like I grew up in the business center of Long Beach. And then I went to school on the left side of Long Beach and hung out sometimes on the right side of Long Beach, which is a multicultural place. So, I being having a white mother and a black father, I have the advantage of fitting in on both sides to a certain point, to a certain extent.
What was it about boxing that really captured your attention and told you could do it?
I'm from the old school. I had no choice. Like, my father said, this is what you're going to do, period. I didn't want to box, and I wasn't good for a very long time. And then, as time progressed, I got better and better.
Now, what were some of maybe the highlights of your early career where you started progressing and things really picked up? I mean, what do you remember best?
When I was I'd say about 14 years old, 15 years old, I just realized that, getting hit didn't hurt. And that guy didn't scare me. I was more scared of my father than the guy in the corner. So it's like, and then I started getting accolades. I'd win this tournament, and people would pat me on the back. And I'd win that tournament, and they say, oh, this is a good. And then ultimately, then my ego jumped in, like, oh, I like being the guy. And ultimately, it spun off into the career that I had.
Yeah.
Not to be saying, but March 30th, I'm fighting for the WBU Heavyweight Championship of the world.
Okay, tell me more about that. Where's that going to take place?
So the World Boxing Union, is a European company that came to America, and a lot of their champions got caught on steroids and snatch. So they approached me with like, would you, I have the credentials, would you like to fight for the world title? And I was like, I thought it was BS, but they're like, no. They gave me an opportunity to come back, grab the championship. So I took it.
Okay.
And March 30th in Waterloo, Iowa, I'm going to fight Travis Fulton for the heavyweight championship of the world.
Do you know anything about your opponent?
I know he's tough, as they all are, but YouTube is great. You can look at anybody.
So speaking of YouTube and great, what's been your opinion on the way boxing media has changed just with YouTube and Twitter, all the social media? Do you pay attention to that?
I don't really. I'm a little past that age group, but I think it's great, man. I think anybody, you can call BS on anybody.
Yeah.
You can look it up.
Got you.
Also, it kind of, on the other side of it, people don't really have to look for information anymore. It's right there at the fingertip. So it's a double-edged sword, in my opinion.
And you fought in HBO, you fought in Showtime. You had a couple tough losses to Maurice Harris, Stampedo. Mentally coming back from those defeats, what does it take to persevere and come back from setbacks?
It takes grit. It takes grit in any respect. Whether it's studying for a test, studying for a fight, it takes grit.
Okay.
And that's what I think the fabric of America is losing. They don't have grit. Kids don't have to work for stuff. I have to work for it. This opportunity coming for me, I had to work for it.
Now, you were part of the Contender, right? For like what was that whole experience like?
That was cool. It was like a false version of reality. Fights were real, guys were real, attitudes were real. But it was a great thing for boxing. I thought it could have went, less on the fighter, more about the home life, because everybody knows what a fighter is. But they don't know that sometimes the women rule the roost. Sometimes, not the managers, but the wives, the girlfriends, they run boxing.
Okay. Being in Hollywood, do you have interest in any other entertainment aspects, or are you focused just on boxing? Like, what else are you interested in? Tell me.
No, I've been in a couple TV shows that I'm trying to get produced. I've got a couple internet sites that I'm working on. And I have a security business. I own a private protection.
Okay.
And, so that's where I make my money, my private protection. But nonetheless, like boxing is the foremost.